Okay. The second dream, this one's a doozy. I'll try to keep this under 8, 10 minutes, something like that, if I can. This one's wild. Okay. So in the dream, I had a radio and I was being told by the government to fly a plane. And I felt, okay, I gotta fly this plane. Got to fly it. It was a jet. I had to fly it. And I was hovering over the jet that I was supposed to fly, looking down on it. It wasn't weird or anything. And the jet was covered in snow and ice. And I was thinking, well, this is going to be dangerous. So I went to find the pilot. The pilot was a black male. He was a black man wearing like brown pants and a brown shirt. And I was intimidated to tell him that I had to take this plane. Coffee, dog. Nothing's going to get her into this. All right, sorry. Try to break it up a little bit here because I've been sitting here a while trying to gather my thoughts, and a little levity is helping me. And I was like, well, I gotta take this guy's plane. So I went up to him and I said, listen, I gotta take this plane. And he said, where are you taking it? And I said, United Arab Emirates. And he said, yeah, all right, go. Just as a side, I know nothing about United Arab Emirates. Nothing. I've seen the name of the country before. I know nothing about it. Well, I don't know anything about this nation. So I get in the plane. I go to fly it, and the runway is starting to shoot straight up. Straight up. So the plane starts to go up it just a little bit, but the front hits it, and now the plane is flying upside down. And I'm looking upside down at the runway, and I'm trying to right the plane, and that's the end of the dream. Again, extremely, exquisitely vivid, unforgettable. In more of a it was like having a movie just implanted into your brain. And I don't know where to begin on this. This is so crazy. I woke up, I looked up United Arab Emirates, nothing in particular. And I said, okay, God, if God has taught me one thing, is to be patient. So I'm going to wait. It was Thursday or Friday. We're at work and we're in an international area. And a friend of mine and I, he's not a Christian, but there's a Christian in this area. It's a big area in Louisville, Kentucky. And there is these flags. We hadn't noticed them before. And I said, we were waiting to get this work done, but we had to wait. It's part of our job. So like, hey, let's go over and count these flags. I said, let's see how many of them we can name, give us something to do. And he's more willing to do it than I thought he would be. I was like, I'm thinking this is interesting. I was surprised he thought it was interesting. And I'm looking at them and I'm rattling them off because I've played a lot of Axis and Allies in video games. I've seen all these flags. So I'm not a student of these things. I just happened to notice this. And one I couldn't get. It looked like a mix between a German flag and an Italian flag. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And so I said, well, I'll just type the colors in and it'll come up. And I had not been thinking about the dream anymore. And he looked at my phone. He said, there it is. And I clicked on it and it said United Arab Emirates. And I went, oh. I was shocked. And he goes, what? And I went, I had a dream about this place, about this country on Monday. And I knew there was a Christian there. And I went up to him and I said, can I ask you a question? I said, why are those flags there? And he said, well, they're there. He goes, I don't really know. I said, well, it's an odd collection. I said, is there any reason? I was trying to work all this out of my mind. I was like, what is this? I was like, what? Like there's Brazil, there's Spain, there's United Arab Emirates. I said, what? You don't know why they're there? Why these flags? And he's like, I have no idea. I said, well, I have to tell you about this dream. He's listening and he goes, huh. I said, what? And he said, well, if you try to fly there from here, there's a layover in Greenland. And I said, yeah. And he goes, but you said the plane was covered in ice? I said, yeah. He goes, well, below it is Iceland. This is where it's interesting. Years ago, probably over 10 years ago, a friend of mine, whether this is right or not, explained to me that the Vikings went there, named Greenland to the north Greenland and Iceland to the south, so anyone else that would go there would go to the wrong place. And as I was thinking about it, I said, oh, that's right. So Greenland is actually the cold area, and Iceland's actually the warm climate. And he said, yeah. I said, so, and I looked at him and I went, it's upside down. And he goes, yeah. And my friend, who's not a Christian, goes, I'm getting chills. I said, buddy, you're getting chills. I'm freaking out over here. I was just in wonder and awe. I couldn't have made this up. I couldn't. It was crazy. Now, I've periodically checked. Turns out the people who won my wife over to Christ well before I met her are missionaries of the United Arab Emirates. And I've been praying because the Christian, and you should pray too, the Christians there, the Muslims who convert to Christianity want to go to church, and they struggle. They're really struggling with it. So I've been praying earnestly for them that God would give them strength and courage to go to church. But with everything that's happened recently in world events in the Middle East, in a nation with a terrorist organization that's taken over, I'll just be careful with the words that I use. There's going to be fallout from that. And I started looking up news articles, and I looked up United Arab Emirates, and it said leaders from the United States that were stationed in that country and other European Union countries will be going to United Arab Emirates as it is a major international air hub. I was like, what? So I was like, we're going to have to give resources to these churches that are there, because I think they're going to get an influx, perhaps of people who need to hear the gospel and so forth. So I'm kind of focused on that. But I'm like, these things are now coming to pass. And now I'm feeling pressed to tell you these stories about these dreams to get them out there, because they're rapidly falling into place. And I'm like, I have to get them out there because these things have already happened. So it may be hard for you to believe that I'm telling you the truth, whoever you are that's watching this. But I have to get it out there. And I'll just say this. If I were lying and you're a Christian and you think that I'm possibly lying, I would pay a heavy penalty before God if I were lying. And you know it and I know it. I'm not lying. I'm here with boldness because the Lord knows I have brought myself to Him in prayer to answer this. Like, why am I having these dreams? So I'm doing this to be faithful to Him. One more to go.